President Freeman, what would you add to this? Why is education a religious responsibility?
So I love thinking about, for me in my life, and maybe a personal reflection about this. I received my patriarchal blessing when I was a teenager. And there is one line in my patriarchal blessing that says, learn to find joy out of learning all through your life. And that's something I took seriously. Now, at the same time, I also found a quote that I loved by Winston Churchill that said, to each there comes in their lifetime a special moment when they are figuratively tapped on the shoulder and offered the chance to do a very special thing unique to them and fitted to their talents. What a tragedy if that moment finds them unprepared or unqualified for what could have been their finest hour. Now, looking back over my life and just thinking about this, at that young age, I took that line from my patriarchal blessing seriously. I'm going to find joy out of learning new things all through my life. So when I was a teenager, you might get a kick out of this, I was in a band, everybody. I used to travel around and perform at high school dances with my band. And rather than just be the keyboardist, which is what I was, I learned everything I could learn about producing music. In my 20s, I went to work for a publishing company. I learned how to produce newspapers, and magazines, and books. I wanted to know everything there was to know about publishing. In my 30s, my husband and I ran an event company. I learned everything there was to know about running events, about producing them, about what that would look like. In my 40s, I became fascinated with social media and with podcasts and with YouTube and how did that work? And I dove in and I learned everything I could about that. And then
what are you going to do when you get to your 50s?
We don't know. We don't know because I have my whole life. What am I going to do when I'm in my 80s?
90s.
We don't know. 90s too. In December, I was tapped on the shoulder by a prophet of the Lord. And when I sat down in that capacity in August, I found out that some of my responsibilities would be to work with youth music. I found out there was actually a magazine that we produce that goes all over the world for the youth. I found out that there would be 3 events I would get to help with every year in January, in August, and October. I found out that I would be working on an Instagram account that would be worldwide for all of the girls. Now, in my 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, I had no idea I would be tapped on the shoulder by a prophet of the Lord. But God did. And he prepared me for what will hopefully be my finest hour. And he will do that for every single one of you. There will come a moment, because of the religion that we believe in, that you will be called up and tapped on the shoulder. And your education will qualify you for what will hopefully be your finest hour. And if we can keep that in mind, if we can remember the importance of learning and finding joy in learning all through our life, then we will be prepared for whatever religious responsibility God has in store for each of us.
Thank you.